Chapter 2, Part 2. Welcome back to the series of discussing my book, Addicted to Being Broke. Let's talk about eradicating the poverty mindset. We're carrying on from where we left off on the last video. And I'll kick off with a story from the book, which was, I was in the corner shop and I was topping up £6 on electric and £3 on my Oyster card. At the time, I was on the phone to one of my friends and they said, "Don't tell me you're topping up your gas and your electric." And I instantly just disconnected the call because I was just like, first of all, I don't have gas. So I was topping up my electricity and my Oyster cards. I felt disrespected. Like, why mention it? Second of all, I felt like I'm trying my best here to make ends meet. Like, don't worry about what I'm doing. And thirdly, I just thought I'm not going to embarrass myself and tell you what I'm doing. So yeah, I disconnected that call and I never explained to her what I was doing. But it's just none of your business at that point. But that's the kind of cycle that you live in. If you know that you're struggling in life, is do you expose yourself? Do you let people know that you're struggling, or do you hide away from it? And I speak about that a lot in the book, and in a different chapter we touch on how it affects your mental health and the statistics with regards to lack of money, debt and mental health. It was shocking when I found out. So at this point in chapter 2, I write about I liked my job, I didn't like my job. So I've done a video about how I actually got my job, which was a story about going to speak to the director of the department at the time. And I got to a stage where I felt like I like my job, I don't like my job. I like my job because obviously it's paying me, but I don't like my job because it's not paying me enough money. I am not earning enough, but I'm dedicating all my hours, my 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, like Monday to Thursday. And I just was feeling like I've had enough of this. I need to change. Something needs to change. And in the process of wanting change and dreaming for bigger things and wanting more in life, I found myself focusing on sort of watching YouTube videos about how to become a millionaire, or reading books about how to become a millionaire, how to become rich. But the reality was, how are you going to become rich if you can't even maintain or manage the money that you have at the moment? It's not possible. And if you became rich, let's say by winning the lottery or something, you'd probably go straight back to zero because the fundamentals of managing money is not there. And in this chapter, I talk about there's so many people that earn a lot of money. But if somebody, let's say, earns an average of £25,000 a year, but they don't manage to save £2,500 in that year, or somebody that earns £12,000 a year and manages to save £1,200, like, who's actually better off? Because one thing that happened is the more you start earning, or the more I started earning, the need to get more things and match your new pay to your living expenses. It's like the person earning the less money is better off because they're actually able to keep some money and show evidence of, I have earned some money this year and I've managed to save some for myself. And that was my main aim, to try and get to a place where I can save some money. But how do you begin saving when you're not even paying all the things you need to pay for? With regards to my job, I just felt like I was in this rat race where I'm just constantly going round in circles, but there's no exits, there's no way out, there's no solution. It's just you're going round and round. You're going to work, you're getting paid, the money's finished. Then you're going to work, you're getting paid, the money's finished. Constantly. And as I've mentioned many times in this video, in this series of videos, not having money, especially as a parent, it impacts you, but it also impacts your children, whether you see it or you don't, whether you believe it or you don't. So even just a simple thing as your children not be able to get the new trainers that they want or they need, the new clothes they want or they need at the time that it's needed, it has an impact on them because you don't know what's going on outside. And yes, we teach them to not be like follow people or want things just because other people want it. But there's just sort of a basic minimum of requirements that the children would like to have, because that's just the standard. But if you're not able to do it because of your lack of money, it does impact them, and you have to take that into account, and you have to let that be a driver for you. Because for me, it was a driver. And I remember one point in the book I write about, in chapter 2, I write about I was in the electric shop. It's like always at the electric shop, but I was topping up the electricity, and I had a £10 note, I think, and I said, oh, can you put £8 on this? And my son turned around and said, why not just put the whole £10? And I just thought, oh my days, it's already been revealed to them that something is not right. And that's when I thought, no, change has to happen, and it needs to happen quickly. And although I continue to talk about in the book the process of the change, it was not quick. And as they say, there's no such thing as get rich quick. There's no such thing as learn to manage your money quick. It's a process, because if you're still not earning enough and you're in that process of learning, it's going to take you to get to a point where you're actually earning enough money to then start budgeting your money properly. Because it's easy for someone to say, yeah, no, save 10% straight away when you get paid. But if you're not able to cover all your bills, and this is your priority bills, how are you just putting money away in the bank? Because you're going to need that money, because you're going to need to pay it at some point. So it's being able to get to the point where at the end, or when you get paid, you're able to pay yourself first, but you're also able to pay all your priority bills, and then do more with your money as well. And I'll talk about that in different chapters. That concludes chapter 2, and we'll move on to chapter 3. If you're new to my channel, I hope you're enjoying the content. Do subscribe if you haven't. Drop a comment if you've got anything that you would like to share, and I'll see you on my next video.